Hello and welcome in our YouTube channel Metallurgical Facts. So this is part 16th of this video series and we are doing metallurgical engineering question practice for GATE metallurgy. So this video is basically for GATE 2021 aspirants, and this video series is very beneficial for practicing purpose. Okay, so if you are doing revision, go through our playlist of GATE metallurgy practice series and watch all videos before going to the GATE exam. Okay, so here this question first is here. So the number of independent elastic constant of an isotropic material is okay. So these all questions are from GATE 2021. Whatever I will do in this video series, that will be from GATE 2020. Okay, and 1 marks question. So this question is very nice, and they are asking about the independent elastic constant, that is in numbers. Okay, so here I will list out the all for all material, all type of crystal structures, the number of independent elastic constants. Okay, so just here you will write like that: number of independent elastic constants. Okay, so I will start from isotropic material and will go up to the triclinic material. Okay, triclinic with material with triclinic structure. Okay, so for isotropic material, the number of independent elastic constants are 2. Okay, so in future exam they may ask for cubic, hexagonal, tetragonal, orthorhombic and monoclinic also. So here this is the list, and this list you may directly find in Dieter book. Okay, so cubic 3, for hexagonal it is 5. What I am writing here, that is number of independent elastic constant. Okay, so for hexagonal it is 5, for tetragonal it is 6, for orthorhombic. Okay, so these all are the crystal structure of those materials. Okay, and this is the number of independent elastic constant. Okay, so for orthorhombic it is 9, for monoclinic type, for monoclinic it is 13, and for triclinic it is 21. That is the largest. Okay, that is the biggest number in case of this number of independent elastic constant. Okay, so these all are the number of independent elastic constant for these type of materials. So you should remember this list for future exams. So here they are asking the number of independent elastic constant for isotropic material. So the answer will be D part, because I already told you for isotropic material it is 2. So D part is correct. So the next question is, for a material to exhibit superplasticity, one of the requirement is okay. So this superplasticity concept is very important. And what is this superplasticity? Superplasticity is basically the ability of a material to withstand very large deformation, very large deformation in tension without necking. Okay, so this is basically the ability of material to withstand very large deformation in tension without necking. Okay, so in this case 1000% of elongation take place. Okay, so you should remember about these points for plasticity, superplasticity, because these are very important points and you may get 1 mark question from this topic, superplasticity. And these are the points, if you will remember these points, that will be beneficial for your exams also. Okay, so what are the cases, what are the requirements for the superplasticity? I will write here. So one of the requirement is that existence of a high strain rate sensitivity. Okay, so this is the requirement for superplasticity case. Okay, so existence of high strain rate sensitivity. Number 2 is that the super elasticity for the for super elasticity to be happened, the temperature should be greater than 0.5 tm, where tm is melting temperature. Okay, so the other requirement is material should have fine grain size. Okay, so this is not for coarse grain microstructure. Okay, and this size must be must be less than 10 micron meter. Okay, so the next is that presence of second phase which inhibits grain growth. Okay, so this is also one of the requirement Okay, so presence of if there will be presence of second phase, that will inhibit the grain growth, and most superelastic alloys are eutectic or eutectoid composition. Most superplasticity plastic materials are eutectoid and eutectic compositions. Okay, of eutectic and eutectoid composition. So these are the points which you should remember for the superplasticity mechanism. Okay, and this superplasticity predominant mechanism for superplasticity deformation is grain boundary sliding. Okay, so this happens by grain boundary sliding. So these are the few points which you should remember regarding this superplasticity. Okay, and this is basically accommodated by slip. Okay, so these are the few points which you should remember regarding this superplasticity. For here they are asking for a material to exhibit superplasticity, one of the requirement is coarse grained microstructure. So this is wrong, because I already told you fine grain size is the requirement for superplasticity. High strain rate sensitivity. Okay, so this is correct, because they are asking for high strain rate sensitivity for superplasticity to be happened. Okay, low strain hardening exponent, no. So other one is that high strain hardening exponent also. So you can write like that: high strain rate, sorry, high strain hardening exponent. Okay, so this is also one of the requirement. Okay, so this is also wrong. And high modulus of elasticity, so this is also wrong. So here again this B part is correct, and you should remember these points regarding the superplasticity. So the next question is from diffusion. So two solid spheres X and Y. So we have two spheres, that is X, and other one is Y, of identical diameter, means diameter of these spheres are same, are made of different material. Suppose this is made of any Z type of material. So this will be made up of any M type of material. Okay, so the materials are different. So thermal diffusivity is given. Okay, so thermal diffusivity for first one is given, that is D1. D1 is equals to 100 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 minus 6 meter square per second. So this is the D1 value, that is thermal diffusivity for solid sphere X. Okay, and for solid sphere Y, this D2 is given, that is 25 multiplied by 10 power minus 6 meter square per second. Okay, so both spheres are heated in the furnace to maintain at 1000 Kelvin. If the center of the sphere X reaches 800 Kelvin in 1 hour. Okay, so this T1 is given 8 for reaching 800 Kelvin. Okay, so they are asking for reaching 800 Kelvin to Y sphere will take how much time. Okay, so you need to find this T2. So you know one of the formula that relates this diffusion coefficient with the depth and the time. So x square by dt is equals to constant, or in some books you will find x by under root of dt is equals to constant. Okay, so here from here you will get x1 square by d1 t1 is equals to x2 square by d2 t2. Okay, and they are saying that the shape and the diameters are identical, so we will take this x1 is equals to x2. Okay, you can take, and so from here you will get the relation d1 t1 is equals to d2 t2. So here we will put the values of d1 t1, that is d1 is 100 10 power minus 6, t1 is 1 hour, d2 is given, that is 25 into 10 power minus 6, and t2 you need to find. Okay, so how to find this t2? T2 will be equals to 4 hour. Okay, so this is easy calculation. You need to remember this formula. This formula is very important for diffusion questions. Okay, and you may get 1 or 2 marks question from this formula only. Okay, other formula is d is equals to d naught exponential of minus q by rt. So this formula is also important in diffusion topic, so you should remember this formula also. And other one is Fick's first law and Fick's second law, that is ERF value. Okay, so here the answer is 4 hours. So 4 hours is correct answer. So the next question is from manufacturing part. So in cold rolling, for the seed to be drawn into rolls, the angle of contact or angle of bite, they are asking, okay, should be less than or equals to. So in this question, they are asking the angle of contact or angle of bite. So they have given coefficient of friction, that is mu. Mu is given here. So mu is 0.2, and that mu is basically between the seat and the roll. Okay, so you know this mu, and we need to find the value theta, that is angle of contact or angle of bite. Okay, so what is the formula for calculation of this angle of bite? You know one of the formula, that is delta H is equals to mu square into R. So this formula is basically for finding the draft or the maximum possible reduction in these cases. Okay, and the other formulas are tan theta, that is angle of bite, theta is angle of bite, tan theta is equals to under root of delta H by R. So from here, if you will put this delta H value, so you will get directly from here delta H, so mu square by into R by R, so R will cancel, and this tan theta will be equals to mu. Okay, so from here what you will do, you will put this mu value directly and you will find the tan theta value. So tan theta is equals to 0.1, and this theta will be equals to tan inverse 0.1. So this theta will be approximate 5.7 in degrees. Okay, so this is the correct answer for this question. And sometimes people forget to take tan inverse, so don't do that mistake, because that comes under the silly mistakes basically. Okay, so this theta value will be 5.7 degree, and this is the answer. Okay, so this formula is very important. This formula is basically for finding the maximum possible reduction or the draft, and this formula is for finding the angle of contact or angle of bite. So these formulas are very important for cold rolling or for rolling type of questions. So 5.7 is correct answer. So the next question is, the number of atoms per unit area in 100 plane of PV is they are asking. Okay, so we need to find the number of atoms per unit area in nanometer per nanometer square. Okay, so given that crystal structure and atomic radius of PV are FCC and the radius is given, so atomic radius, that is R, is equals to 0.175, and they are asking that is 100 plane. Okay, so for FCC crystal structure, if you will draw this FCC crystal structure, okay, so you will find like that, this is the cubic shape. Okay, so this is FCC crystal structure and atom will place like that. Okay, so this is like that, and if you will find for 100 plane, you will get one plane like that, that will be of cubic, that will be of square shape. Okay, so this will be the atoms will be like that. Okay, so one atom will be at center and 1 by 4 at corners. Okay, so the number of atoms for 100 plane will be equals to 1 by 4 multiplied by 4 plus 1. Okay, so that will be equals to 2. So but they are asking that number of atoms per unit area. So how to find the number of atoms? Number of atoms per unit area. Okay, so you will divide that number of atoms per unit area, so that area will, you can find by multiplying this a, because this is a square shape, this is basically a square shape. Okay, this 100 plane will be of a square shape, so you can divide that value for finding the number of atoms per unit area. So number of atoms is 2, and per unit area, for per unit area, a square. Okay, so a value how we can find, because this is FCC structures and we know the relation between radius and the lattice parameter in FCC, that is root 2 a is equals to 4r. So root 2 multiplied by a value you can find from here easily. So r value is given, that is 1.175, and a value will be equals to 0.496. Okay, so you will put this a value here and you will find this number of atoms per unit area, that will be 2 by 0.496 whole square, and you will find the value that will be equals to 8.12. So in this question they are asking round off to the nearest integer, so the nearest integer is 8. Okay, so 8 is the correct answer here, and number of atoms cannot be in fraction, so you should remember that too, if they are not asking for unit area. Okay, so that is common sense. Okay, so this 8 per nanometer square. Okay, so this is the answer, this is the correct answer for this question. Thank you guys for your attention. Hope you understood the concept of the questions I have told in this video. and I hope that you will share this video series with the GATE aspirants, those who are going to write the GATE exam on 14th of the February. Okay, so please try to share this video as much as you can so that everyone will get benefit. Okay, so thank you, and subscribe our channel and press bell icon for getting notification. Thank you.